Hey guys, welcome to another video here at Cyber Advent. I'm your host Tyrell, and today we are going to be looking at the Cybersecurity program at WGU and why I think it's one of the best online programs you can do. So first things first, before we even get into that, I want to go ahead and say this now. Go ahead and leave a like and subscribe if you're new. I'm doing this for two reasons. One, I know you're going to get something out of this video. I absolutely know it. And two, I just don't want you guys to forget. So go ahead, do that now, and let's begin. First things first, let's talk about motivation and discipline. So the thing about WGU is it's an online school, and because of that, there are going to be some people who don't know how to handle working and progressing by themselves. Some people need someone to be on their ass and just to have be there for them and be there with them when it comes to school and education. I completely get that. Not everyone can do some of this stuff alone, especially because the thing about WGU is a lot of the time when you're doing this program, you're going to be kind of alone in it, right? They're going to give you a little bit of instructions, and they're going to give you a few things that you can reference, but they're not going to sit down and actually teach you. There's going to be the instructor isn't going to sit there, call you up every day and be like, hey, this is how you do X, this is how you do Y. It's not like high school. It's not like a regular college. They're going to give you the resources, so they might give you a book to read or a few pages to read on their website. They might recommend a few videos to watch or even a course to look at Udemy. But they're not going to sit there and handhold you. So for some people, that's not good. They can't handle it. It's just not something they like. Other people are cool with it, and they'll just be like, I'll figure it out some type of way. That's kind of how I was. That's how I kind of did my degree. I was just like, okay, I can go to Udemy for this, LinkedIn for this, Pluralsight for that, and that's how I handled my degree. Another thing is when it comes to the discipline and motivation that you have to have inside yourself, you have to have self-motivation, self-discipline, but using those two things, you can easily knock out multiple classes, multiple courses, whatever you want to call them, very fast. And how fast? I mean, you can knock out 11 classes or courses in a 6-month period. I knocked out about 11 classes in 2021. So from July 1st to December 31st, I knocked out 11 courses. And guys, it was a grind. I had 17 to complete altogether, and I was able to knock out 11 of them in one semester. So keep that in mind. If you are willing to put in the work and put in the time, you can easily get a degree. So talking a little bit more about the courses, and I already kind of mentioned it, they will give you all the resources. So there's no need to worry about paying for books or anything else. All the prices and all the things that you would ever use is included into the tuition for the most part. And I say that because you have 2 attempts to pass any exam. After the second attempt, you would have to pay out of pocket. So say you failed twice, and on your third attempt, you would have to pay. I had to do that twice. I failed the Pen Test Plus twice, and I failed, I believe, the SQL class twice. So just keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. For the most part, everything that you get is free or is already paid for, because you paid for school. So it's not technically free. But the classes, they go through a good amount of stuff. I'll try to get a B-roll of all the classes that I had at the time of my enrollment, all the classes that you had to take for the cybersecurity course. Just note that you have to do things like take the A+, Network Plus, Security Plus, Project Plus. So you also have to take the SSCP, the Pen Test Plus, the CYSA Plus. You have to take a lot of courses or a lot of certifications, which is really good if you're trying to get a foothold into the industry or the field. It gives you a lot of different certifications, which makes you a really strong candidate on paper. But you also have to remember to really absorb and understand the things that you're taking and the things that you're doing at WGU, because if you don't, it's really not worth that much. So in my opinion, the certification classes are for the most part the harder classes. You might have the SQL, which I didn't really understand because I wasn't really strong in programming. It's funny because that's the thing I use the most now is a query language. So it's funny how the thing that I didn't think I was going to use and the thing that I didn't really care about became the thing that I ended up using the most. Yes, I use other things like cloud security and stuff, but it's just funny that that one thing that I was just like, I won't use it, is something that I use on a daily. That's really it for courses and classes. You got to take a lot of them, obviously, and you can easily accelerate through them if you are willing to put in the work and put in the time. Following that, let's talk about the resources. So I kind of mentioned that for the most part, WGU, they give you resources like you get websites of like basically books. So you get like the digital version of books hosted on their library. You click on it, it'll give you like a few different pages and slides, and you'll read through them. They'll link to other stuff, blah, blah, blah. All in all, they'll give you some stuff that you can use. But what I definitely recommend is reaching out to the instructor and seeing if they have any more extra material. And I say that because it's very useful. Like, for example, I did terrible in the Pen Test Plus, and when I ended up reaching out to the instructor, they kind of explained that, hey, you know, maybe you should relook at the practice test that they give you. And I remember also for the cloud security one, they kind of explained how you would want to attempt that exam and all the papers you had to write. I was about to say exams you had to write, but that doesn't make sense. For all the papers that you had to write, they will give you like not a rule brick, but they'll give you a guide on how you should write paper, which is really useful. So if you can, reach out to the instructor, get the extra resources like that, and kind of just go from there. Another thing that's really useful is Udemy, LinkedIn, and Pluralsight. So they give you that for free, or again, it's linked with what you pay for in the tuition. And that is amazing. It's so good that they give it to you after you graduate as an alumni. You just have to use a different link. So they will give you free courses on Udemy, free courses on Pluralsight, free courses on LinkedIn for free. It's amazing, guys. If you're going to WGU, if you are a WGU alumni, definitely do use those things. Use Udemy, use Pluralsight, use LinkedIn. All right, so now that that's out of the way, let's talk about a few tips. And I have my handy dandy book here. I didn't use my my tablet this time. Let's go ahead and just do this first one. If you have an OA, which is I think objective assessment, basically if you have to take a test, do the practice exam as soon as possible. And the reason why I say that is because if you want to accelerate, this is like the easiest way to do it. You take the practice exam. If you pass confidently, you just go ahead and take the OA. You take the actual final, and usually 9 times out of 10 you'll pass. If you don't, who cares? You have a second time that's free. Study what you missed and try it again. For the papers, what I recommend is reaching out to the instructor, like I said, and get the guide. Usually they all have guides, so you just go say, hey, you know, can I get some more information on this? Sometimes the instructor will just give it to you when you start the course, and then you just go ahead and you start and you write and do your thing. But now you have an idea of what they're looking for. And last but not least, if you're interested in accelerating like I was, reach out to your program mentor and just say, hey man, look, I want to accelerate and I'm willing to put in the work to do so. So I'm going to go knock out these 3 classes. This is what I told my my original program mentor when I first started in July of 2021. I was just like, look, I'm gonna knock this shit out basically. And I need you to work with me on how these classes go, because I do not want to go with the way that the classes are already arranged. I want to go in a certain way so I can knock out like the papers, because the papers go by really quick, and then you just have the exams. The exams you might have to study a little bit depending on which one it is. For example, since I already took this, what's it called, the Security Plus and the Network Plus, I had a really strong understanding of like the basic security foundations that you would find in like the SSCP. So I took a week to study for the SSCP, and then I passed it, right? I didn't really go too hard, or I didn't really have to take too much time away from my other things. So I would usually do a few papers while studying for an exam. And then by the time I'm done with the papers, I'm usually either testing or I'm about to test for the exam that I was going to do for whatever time period or whatever point of time I was in. And I will just keep doing that cycle. And if you get stuck on an exam, like I did, I got stuck on the Pen Test Plus. What I ended up doing was I just said, hey man, look, I'm stuck here. I can't really pass it. You see how I knocked out all these other classes? Can you allow me to keep going? And I'll come back to this at the end of the semester. My program mentor was amazing. He said yes. And I was able to skip the Pen Test Plus for the time being and knock out like I think an extra 5 classes, right? So at that time I had 6 classes down. I tried to do the Pen Test Plus as the 7th class, couldn't knock it. So I ended up going and taking like encryption and SQL and all that other jazz instead. I went to take the Pen Test Plus again at the end of the semester, failed again, And I ended up just saying, you know what, I'm going to do that last, which I ended up doing. That was the last class I took at WGU. But honestly, what I'm going with this is basically find out what works for you, right? Maybe you're a really quick writer like I was, knock out those papers. Maybe you're a great test taker, right? And you're able to knock out classes like the Pen Test Plus with ease. In that case, knock out all those certs, get mad certified, and then knock out the papers in a later time, right? Just giving you guys some ideas. But with that being said, that's really it for this video. So hopefully you guys enjoyed and you got like a good understanding of what the cybersecurity program was like. It was a lot of certification. It was a good amount of papers to write. And I just think it overall is a really good program. I'm pretty sure there are other videos about this that can really drive in how good the cybersecurity program is. Hopefully you guys got something out of this one. And I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Peace.